Okay guys, so today we are at Little Nam Davao, and today we are at the Mayon branch, and you can see that we have so much of different Vietnamese food in front of us. So just to let you know, it's one of the only Vietnamese restaurant in Davao City, and today we are standing with one of their servers. So can you please tell us the names of Vietnamese food which you have served us today?
Communion,
Okay.
the caramelized shrimp,
Okay.
and this one is the chanong,
Okay.
the grilled pork spring roll,
Okay.
and we have the pork, the rice
paper.
paper, and this one is the beef, saute beef.
Okay.
We have tomatoes and onion, and the Vietnamese fried
Pancake,
cake,
okay.
the banh choa,
Okay.
and the last is the pho noodles, the pho special. We have beef, tripe, and tendon. Then we add vegetables like basil, bean sprout, and the lemon.
Okay.
And the last is the Vietnamese iced coffee, the drip coffee.
Okay. So guys, now just one dish which is very comfortable and very best sellers of there is the Vietnamese spring roll or the rice paper roll. So let's learn from her that how to make it and how to assemble it. So can you please start, Po, and tell us that how to make it?
Okay. First is you dip the rice paper in the water.
So you should double dip the rice paper in the water
Yes, sir.
so that it becomes a bit soft.
Becomes soft.
Okay.
Then you add the lettuce
Okay.
and the cucumber, the one pickle.
So guys, these are the pickled radish and pickled carrots.
Then the Thai basil.
Okay, so this is the Thai basil.
And you add a little bit of noodles. A vermicelli noodle.
Okay. So guys, as you can see that all the things in this serving are fresh, and this is something like a salad, but are converted into a form of a spring roll. So now she's going to add the meat. This is the pork.
The pork.
Okay.
You can remove the stick.
So this is something like a pork sausage, the Vietnamese style pork sausage. So you can try that when you come here. And can you tell the name again? What's the name?
The chanong, sir.
Chanom. So guys, don't worry, we'll be putting the names of the Vietnamese language also here so that you can order that. So now the roll is ready.
The finished product.
Product. Okay.
Then you dip in a sauce.
Okay, so what's the name of the sauce?
This is a sweet sauce.
Sweet sauce.
Yeah.
So guys, let's try the product. So let's give it a small dip, a small bath in the sauce. The basil is so fresh, yet when it comes under your teeth, it gives the freshness in the mouth. The pork skewer is little bit sweet, little bit tender. The sour pickle, carrot and radish, they're a bit tangy. The noodles are a bit fluffy. So it's a combination of light as well as heavy. So if you want to try something new, go ahead and order the what's the name again?
The chanong.
Chanom. So guys, let's proceed with the video and let's try the other food. So as you already know the names, if you don't know the Vietnamese name, you can order with the English name also. So this is called the glazed caramelized shrimps, the Vietnamese roll, the beef stew or the beef stew.
Yes.
Okay. This is the Vietnamese pancake and the pho. So pho is actually the national dish of the Vietnam. So if you want to try, you can order that. And this is the Vietnamese drip coffee. So this is the iced coffee basically, and they will let us know that how to assemble that later. So let's proceed with the video, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys. So let's start reviewing the Vietnamese pancake. So before we review it, I will just open it and show it to you that what is inside this pancake. So as you can see, it's having some bean sprouts. It's having some meat. I don't know which meat it is, but it's looking something very delicious, and it's having some shrimpies. So let's pack it back up. And they've given us a knife and a big fork. So let's try and cut it into a small piece. Oh, the crisp is real. It's so crispy and it's smelling like of bean sprouts. The bean sprouts are like a bit mushy from that nature, but it's nice to eat something healthy once in a while. So we'll be taking it up by the hand. Oh wow. Just look at this bite. It's having the crispiness from the flour. It's having some spring onions, having some bean sprouts. So as you can see, a bean sprout is already coming out. So let's take a bite. It's a bit oily. If you love to eat something oily, you can try this. But it's not my type of food because it's not that spicy. But as I've been told by the servers and the owner, that we can dip it in the sauce. So let's take a small bite and let's dip it in the sauce. The sauce adds a lot of flavor to it, and you can also take a leaf or a two of the Thai basil and eat it. The Thai basil adds a lot of texture to it, adds a lot of freshness to it, so it gives it a different dimension, it gives it a different flavor or texture to it. So if you want, you can actually ask them for giving you some extra Thai basil and some extra lettuce. So you can make it like a roll, like we made the previous one. And let's proceed to the next part. So in that, I'm going to try the pho. So, but before that, let's try the shrimpies. So because it's looking much more delicious and delicious, so we'll try the shrimpies first. So as you can see, the shrimpies in this one, they are whole. The eyes are still intact. The shells are still intact. So let's take one of the shrimpies and let's dip it in the sauce or the sweet and sour sauce which they have told us. And let's try it. Look at it. The shell of the shrimpies have become crustified. They've become like a rice paper themselves. It's so crunchy that you don't need to remove the shell itself. And the meat is properly cooked. I think they first boil it and then they saute it. So that it's a different flavor. That's a different dimension. And if you feel it's very heavy, again my advice to you is that take some leaves of the Thai basil and just munch on it. It makes me remember of India when you feel that something is very heavy, you eat some salad. So in Vietnam and Thailand, they always have some Thai basil, they always have some coriander at the side so that you can eat. So in this one, they don't have the coriander, they have the Thai basil and the lettuce. So that's also a nice dimension. So let's take some rice and let's have a rest of the shrimpy with it. Let's see if it gives it a different dimension. So just a little bit of rice into the sauce and over that the whole shrimpy. So as you can see, the shrimpy is still having some sauces and the oil from the sauteing. So let's take that bite. The rice makes the crispiness of the shrimp a little bit less, but not in a bad way. It actually equalizes it. It actually makes it like profound the crispiness of the shrimp. So if you want to not only eat the shrimp, if it makes you feel a little bit weird because the eyes are still intact, don't worry, you can order rice with it and then you can eat it as a whole. So let's proceed to the next part. That's the beef. We are keeping the pho for the last. So let's try the beef now. So this is the beef stew which they have told us. So let's take a nice bite of the stew itself. So as you can see, it's having some tomatoes, some onion. So I will just take a bite of the stew itself alone before I take it with the rice. Believe me, if you don't want to order anything else here, just two things order. One is this rice paper thing, the Vietnamese rice paper roll, and the second one is the beef stew. When the beef, it went under my teeth, it felt like it's a sponge. It just released all the juices it has gathered. It's amazing. I cannot define it in the words. My brain is actually washing in the beef gravy. So we'll take another bite of the beef with the rice this time. There's no need to have rice with this, I'm telling you. It's already so soft, it's already so spongy. Let's take a bite. Genuinely telling, this is the best beef I have ever eaten in Philippines. It's so tender, it's so juicy. The cuts are bite size. You don't need to chew them off with your hands. It's perfectly cooked. It's perfectly glazed. It's not that spicy. It's not that over salty. It's perfectly salted, perfectly marinated beef. So this is my best advice to you. If you want to come here and eat beef, especially, order this one. So now let's proceed to the last part. That's the pho. Okay guys, so the final moment has arrived. We have the pho here. I will ask Felix to come near and show you the pho noodles. As you can see, the pho noodles are, I think, handmade. I'm not sure, but they look very flat. They look very nice. I will take a fork and show you that how the noodles look actually. Now don't comment down and tell that pho is not eaten with fork. I know that. I'm just trying to show you the noodles. As you can see, the noodles are cooked properly. They are thick. They're not like the pancake noodles which you eat at home. So, as I've been told, I should add some Thai basil, of course. So we'll add some leaves of the Thai basil. Some more because it's Thai basil, it's good for health. Full of antioxidants and full of flavor. Okay, I think that's enough. And a little bit of bean sprouts. So these are themselves like a noodly texture, but not that much noodly. They are a little bit mushy when you chew them. And as I've been told that I should add two of the condiments. So I again forgot the name of this one. We'll add the name of this one in the background. So as I've been told, I should add this one. This is a bit sour, as I've been told. And I should add their sriracha, the hot sauce, because I know we are Indians and we like to eat spicy. And then they've asked us to add I think it's something like a chili paste or the chili oil, chili infused thing. Because you can see it is having some chili and some real chili seeds inside it. So let's put a small amount of it on the top. Oh wow. Now it looks like the food is ready to go on a prom night. Just look at it before I mix it together. It looks so nice. The bean sprouts, the Thai basil, the condiments. Now let's mix it all up. Oh wow. Just look at it. I think it is also having some beef pieces in it. So this also makes it a nice dish, a wholesome dish. And I think this is some tendons. They have some tendons also inside. If I'm not wrong, till where I have seen the videos, this is the stomach. So if you want to try something new, if you are an adventurous eater like me, you can actually come here and try that. So we'll take some pho out in the bowl. And some soup with it. Let's try and add some beef piece and a stomach. Okay, so as you can see, that this is having everything which we want. It's having some meat, it's having some beef, it's having some stomach, it's having some noodles. So just to make it a full filled thing, let's add some Thai basil on the top to make it a little bit perfectionist. And then let's take a spoon and have a bite of the broth first. Let's taste how the broth feels like. I don't know if I'm correct because I'm not allowed to shoot inside the cooking process, but I think this is the bone broth. I think it's being boiled with the bones of the beef because it's having that calcium thing. It's having that thickness to the broth, and the noodles, the most awaited part of this. Let's take a bite. As I've told you that the noodles are, I think, handmade because it's a bit chewy, it's a bit fluffy at the same time, which is very rare to find, but the noodles are actually a bit chewy and a bit fluffy at the same time. The broth is a bit oily, a bit fatty, if I'm not incorrect, and the Thai basil, it adds the next dimension to the food. Now let's proceed with the stomach because it's my first time I'm going to try the stomach on camera. The stomach, as you can see, there's one more piece of stomach in this till now. The stomach looks a bit weird if you can come near and focus on it. The stomach looks a bit weird. It feels like it's having some villi or something on it, which we have studied, but it doesn't feel weird. Believe me, trust me, it feels smooth. It feels like any other cut of the beef. The stomach feels nice actually. I think it absorbs everything, absorbs all the juices in the broth. And let's try the last part of the pho. That's the beef. So the whole beef part. I don't know if it's just the beef here in the Philippines or the beef in Little Nam, the restaurant which you are featuring today. But the beef in this place is awesome. If you are a beef lover, if you eat beef, come here and try it out. I'm telling you, it will give you a different dimension, a different aspect to the beef. It will give you a different flavor of beef. So, guys, make sure to come here in Little Nam Davao. Make sure to order the beef stew. And if you love to eat Vietnamese cuisine, order the pho. And if you want to try something like a self-made thing, make sure to try the roll, the spring roll, which is having pork in it, the vermicelli noodles, the pickled radish and carrots, the Thai basil, of course, the cucumber, and the rice paper. So that's all for my review, guys. So it's having the Little Nam Davao is having the range of food from the fried to the stews to the pho to the shrimpies. So it's having everything. If you want to try, then you can try this out. So let's try the last part, the last food. It's actually not a food, it's a drink. That's the Vietnamese coffee. So let's ask for the assistants that how to assemble it. I think that they just have to pour it into this. Let's still ask. Paul, can you please guide how to assemble the coffee? Should we just pour it inside or?
We have to mix it first.
Okay, can you do that? No problem. Yeah, sure. So since we were doing the review for a long period of time, the ice has melted down. So you can see that there is a lot of hard work which goes into making videos. It's not just food eating; it's explaining what you're eating. It's explaining the place, the Little Nam Davao. If I can ask Felix, if he can show you around the video, you can see that the interiors are so beautiful. They have the balloons, which is having lighting inside. That the Vietnamese hats on the back. The people, it's already houseful. It's already having a lot of people from all parts of Davao. So now the ice has again arrived. So let's see how to assemble it. Felix. So guys, as you can see that the whole coffee has dripped out, and now they're going to mix it with the, I think it's a condensed milk now. Okay. So if you ever study a little bit more about the Vietnamese coffee, they don't use the powdered milk. They always use the condensed milk. So the coffee is having no extra sweetness from the sugar. They add the condensed milk for the sweetness. So now she's going to add the whole thing into the ice. Oh wow. Because the coffee was hot and the ice is ice. So the fumes are coming out, and as I've been told that I should try it straightforward as it's made, as it's assembled. So let's remove the covering. I hope it's a little bit sweet because I have a sweet tooth. It's not that sweet, I will say, but it's having that bitter aftertaste from the Vietnamese coffee. We have one more unshaken Vietnamese coffee. If Felix can show you the dimension, the viscosity of the coffee and the viscosity of the milk is so different that when they are mixed together, it gives it a next dimension. So we'll take another sip of this and then let's wrap up the video. We'll eat the food with Felix and let's enjoy this food. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Make sure to subscribe on the YouTube. Like this video, share with your friends. Thank you guys.